pleasant morning, everyone. I welcome you all to this morning for actively participating. This morning, I will be sharing a series of presentations that will open our mind about Philippine professional standards for teaching, its characteristic, salient features, and components. This is Ms. Marivic Rupillo, a second-year student at Negros Oriental State University, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Filipino, your presenter this morning. As we all know, teaching is not an easy job. It requires a lot of effort and patience when handling students and young individuals. Being a teacher bears a big responsibility. The future of every student, as what others say, depends on the hands of the educator. As an aspiring teacher, and to all the teachers out there, we already had a guide how to become a proficient and how to be an effective educators. The PPST, or the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, has set of standards that will guide us along the way of being in the teaching field. Course learning outcomes. These are the expected results from the students at the end of every lessons or discussions. These are outcomes that define students' understanding of the lesson being tackled, specifically of the knowledge and skills the learner has obtained and developed by the end of the course. At the end of the module entitled Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, Development and Characteristics, Salient Features and Components, students are expected to: first, gain knowledge and deeper understanding about the Philippine Professional Standards for Teacher, components and salient features, its development and characteristics. Second, understand how important the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers as a set of standards that will set as a guide to every educators. Third, share their own thoughts and observations or ideas on how teachers use different strategies in order to cater to diverse learners in the field of teaching. This presentation is following the 5 E's of the module. These 5 E's are engaging, exploring, explaining, elaborating, and evaluating. For the engaging, it captures students' attention and leads them to be more curious about the topic. Second, which is exploring, which enables the students to discover new learnings by giving them tasks either individually or by group. Third is explaining. Students are given the chance to share their thoughts and ideas with a form of communication towards other students. They are being taught on how they are going to explain such understanding on a specific topic. The fourth E is elaborating. Students will be able to use their new learnings and apply it to what they have learned on their past experiences. And lastly is the evaluating. In this phase, the students' development will be evaluated through assessments that will show their improvement on their thinking skills and also their other abilities as well. And now let's go through the most important part of this presentation, the 5 E's of the module. Let's start with the first one, engaging. Engaging, as reflected on the module, students are given some questions that will let them formulate questions also and will lead them to curiosity. There are 3 questions given to them. These questions are: first, what do you think are the target or goal of the PPST in building your professional teachers? Second, as a student, if you plan on becoming a teacher, do you think you'll be an effective and become a good teacher in this field? Lastly, in connection with question number 2, what do you think are the steps you are going to make to become more proficient enough in the field of teaching or in the career of teaching? Explore. On this phase, I use two activities. First activity is a group activity wherein they are going to understand a picture showing different situations for every group. They are encouraged to share and present the picture given to them in a creative way and present it in front of the class. They are going to share their thoughts and ideas of what is being portrayed on the picture. So for the second activity, the students are given some questions which is based only on the first activity given to them. And these questions are, first, what do you feel after presenting every assigned task given to you? Second, after witnessing all the group's performance, what are the learning you get from it and how are you going to apply it into your life as a student or as an aspiring teacher in the near future? Explain. For the explanation phase, the topic is needed to be explained thoroughly so that students will be able to understand the content very well. Students may have learnings from the previous topics about the topic that is being discussed, but somehow they also expected new learnings from it that will help them achieve deeper understanding. After a thorough discussion of the topic, students will be able to share their own thoughts, explanations, and will get also add-on knowledge and ideas from other students' explanations about the topic, activities, and tasks given to them. A teacher will also explain to widen their understanding for some clarifications. It is important to share and explain the ideas with evidences for them to come up with more complex understanding and to think critically. With the help of the explanation, their curiosity on the engagement part will be filled in with so much ideas that can even apply in their life in the near future or in the field of work. And now let's move on to the elaborate. For the elaborating phase, students are going to elaborate the domains of the PPST or the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers based on their acquired knowledge and understanding on the topic being discussed. There are 7 domains of the PPST, and each domain has different parts or strands that explains things which teachers need to do in the teaching profession to be effective and proficient in the field. For the second part of the activity, there is a diagram that I made for the students to answer. This diagram will let the students input their understanding or learning about the PPST as a whole into the boxes. With this, they will be able to highlight what learnings they obtain from the topic. They are going to put their understandings or learnings in each boxes with the PPST on the center. And now for the last part of the E-module, which is the evaluating. So in the evaluation phase, for the evaluation, in order to assess and to know how deep the students' understanding are about the topic and assess their thinking skills, the development of their abilities, there are a set of questions given to them. These are the questions that are self-explanatory, which will determine if they really understood the concepts of the PPSC and they have developed to think critically even with small and simple things. So this is to test their understanding, testing the understanding of every student into a complex scenarios or situations. This is the end of my presentation entitled Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, Development and Characteristics, Salient Features and Components. Again, this is Ms. Marivic Rupillo, a future educator like you. Before ending this presentation, let me leave a message that says, a teacher is not only teaching students with learnings that can be applied in real-life situations, but also teachers are the one that motivates young individuals to pursue their dreams, develop their abilities, hone their skills, and in molding their personalities. A good teacher that gives hope, ignite imagination, and instill a love of learning. Thank you so much for participating in this presentation. And once again, good morning.